You want to eliminate taxes on tips, and you want to make the 2017 tax cuts permanent.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
But we're going to take in tremendous amounts of money on tariffs. We're going to have tariffs. We're going to take in tremendous amounts of money.
All right, there you have it. President Trump during the Super Bowl with Bret Baier. Joining us now, House Majority Leader Steve Scalise from the great state of Louisiana. Steve, thank you for coming back on. What's happening here? I guess I'll ask, is there going to be one big, beautiful bill coming out of the House? I guess that's the issue number one. Is there going to be a budget resolution? Any sense of the timing of it?
Well, great to be back with you. And Larry, as you and I have talked about a number of times, you and I are both strong advocates of one big, beautiful bill.
Yes.
For a number of reasons. And you just had Russ vote on. Russ is a great friend. Russ, we were actually talking to earlier today about some of this process. But ultimately, if you look at the various bills out there and the Senate's doing their own thing, there's only one bill that actually addresses all of the priorities and needs of President Trump, and that's the House bill, because it doesn't just deal with the border. We deal with the whole $175 billion that Russ talked about to build the wall, to give the night vision goggles, the other technology like drones to our border agents, deals with defense spending that we need to address, but it especially deals with making sure that we renew the Trump tax cuts and add those items like no tax on tips that President Trump talked about at every rally. This is not just a campaign platitude he laid out. He really believes in it because it's important, and it's something that a lot of people are counting on. So we're going to do all of those things in our bill. It starts with the budget. We're finalizing the details with the Budget Committee. They're looking to go on Thursday to actually move the budget out of committee. We still have a couple of final pieces we're tweaking, but ultimately, Larry, I feel confident we'll get there. Then we start the process. In the entire month of March, circle your calendar. You will see 11 different committees in the House taking action in the month of March to deliver on all of these promises. And on top of that, one I didn't even mention that will be in this one big, beautiful bill, American energy production, Larry. Finally, opening up from the Gulf of America in my district all the way up to Anwar and Alaska and every point in between. America's ready to produce more energy. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris shut it down. President Trump's going to open it back up again. It's in our bill.
So basically, actually, Russ Vought suggested the president himself would prefer one big, beautiful bill. You're saying you can get a vote on Thursday and get it out of committee, out of budget committee. I think that would give it a big leg up. Is that the plan right now, Thursday vote?
That's the plan right now. One or two little details that are important need to be worked out. We're having conversations almost by the hour to resolve that. But we had a lot more things that needed to be worked out that we did work out, including last week when President Trump had us over to the White House. And we spent about 5 hours hammering out most of those details. And look, President Trump's very engaged in this. He cares about this a lot because, it's not just the campaign promises. He knows this is going to help get the economy moving again. And most important, Larry, this will put more money in the pockets of hardworking families. If you don't renew those tax cuts, for example, about 80% of all individual rates on American families will go up. The AMT, the alternative minimum tax, comes back and kicks middle-class families in the gut. Something known as 199A, which might not sound familiar to many people. Every small business in America knows what that means. That expires at the end of this year. That is the ability for a small business to get the same fair tax treatment that a large multinational corporation gets. You take that away from small business owners, they see about a doubling in their tax rate when a multinational corporation they compete with keeps a low 21% rate. That would crush many small businesses. We need to keep all those tax rates where they are. What Trump did in 2017 to lower those rates made America competitive, created millions of jobs, and put more money in the pockets of hardworking families. We don't want that to go away. We want that growth and success to continue.
Well, I mean, in addition to that, I mean, I want to get the blue-collar boom started as soon as possible. It was the working class vote that really put Mr. Trump in as handsomely as he won, and also helped the House and the Senate. And, the 15% tax rate for American-made products, I think that's important. I think the tax-free tips, tax-free overtime, seniors, all that stuff I think is important. And Russ Vought mentioned, I asked him specifically, in his budget, whatever they're going to put up, they'll have dynamic scoring. If you run a 3% growth rate for the next 10 years instead of a puny 1.8% from the Congressional Budget Office, you pick up $3 trillion in revenues, and that's real money. That's what happened the last time. That's how it was. The revenues soared the last time.
Right. You get this economy moving again, like we did in 2017. You see economic growth like we've never seen before, and you see individual wealth for families at every income level. If you were lower middle income, you were struggling barely to get by. That tax cut plan put more money in the pockets of families, allowed them to take a family vacation. Bret Baier asked the president in that clip you just ran, how are you going to pay for it? Of course, nobody asked, if taxes go up on people, how do you pay for that? That would crush our economy. It would kick people who are already struggling, low and middle income families especially, in the gut when they're already down. Nobody seems to care about them except President Trump, which is why he got elected. But by the way, when you keep these good tax policies in place, you get that growth, but we're also cutting waste. Look at what DOGE is identifying. We're also identifying similar waste, improper payments to people here illegally who are getting things like Social Security benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, programs that good, hardworking Americans paid into. Illegals are coming and helping bankrupt. Why don't we protect those programs by putting those integrity measures in place? That saves real money. Put work requirements on some of these welfare programs. There are a lot of people that are turning down work, 40-year-olds, able-bodied, sitting at home, maybe living in their mom's basement, and they are turning down work. Why should you and I have to pay them to sit at home? They can sit at home. They shouldn't be paid by taxpayers to do that when they can work in the real world and help contribute to society. And by the way, when they go work, they can get out of their mom's basement and go get their own place. So we're going to do those things too. That helps pay for it, plus the economic growth that absolutely will come.
Just last one. It sounds like, and Mr. Trump raised this with Bret Baier, his reciprocal tariff strategy will yield revenues. Surely you can make 5 to 10 year estimates on that revenue yield. And also the Elon Musk Doge audit for fraud and so forth will have enormous amount of savings. Surely you can put in 5 to 10 year estimates on that into this budget.
Yeah, so far, Congressional Budget Office, which we fight with a lot, but unfortunately they are the designated quote unquote referee that we have to work with. They will not give you a score right now on what Doge is doing, even though it could well be $1 trillion, as Elon has pointed out. What you're seeing happen over on the other side, too. I mean, all of those things will yield significant money. Nobody really knows what the tariffs, reciprocal tariffs, however you want to lay them out, yielding, President Trump says, trillions of dollars. Even if it's hundreds of billions of dollars, CBO won't score it, but it will all go to deficit reduction to actually reduce our deficit, which is good for the overall economy, for the bond markets, and for inflation.
Roll CBO.
Let's go get it.
Go ahead, just roll.
One big bill, Larry.
Roll them. One big bill, just roll CBO. Don't listen to those guys. They say the same thing all the time. They hate tax cuts and they love spending.
They're not going to write our bill.
Just roll them. That's exactly
They're not going to write our bill. We are. And look, you've got a lot more understanding of what's going to happen than they do. But, ultimately, we've got to get moving, and we are. And we're going to deliver for President Trump and the American people.
Many, many thanks. House Majority Leader, Mr. Steve Scalise from the great state of Louisiana. Thank you, sir.